Hello and welcome to the recipe for the day from www.kitchennewbie.com. And today we are making
coconut pyramids.
Coconut pyramids. I don't know why I think this, but when you say coconut pyramids, I always think of Madonna.
Why on earth should you think of Madonna?
Well, she had coconut pyramids, didn't she, once?
Oh dear.
Sticky out ones.
They weren't coconut and they weren't pyramids. Get your mind out of the gutter. The thing is about coconut pyramids, when my mum used to make them, because I used to love coconut pyramids, and I still do. I love coconut, and I don't make them very often, because there's only really me and Darren that likes coconut in that way. So when I have people come round, I tend to make them so that, you know, I've got... Because I can... this recipe makes 10 to 12 pyramids, and so does the other one. Well, the other one you can get a bit more out of, but... If I was to eat 12 coconut pyramids, you know, even in 3 or 4 days, I don't think it'd do me any good.
No.
But the thing is about coconut pyramids is they used to be really sweet. Now, you can make them as sweet or as not sweet as you want, really. They need a bit of sweetness, obviously, because there's very few ingredients in coconut pyramids. I think that's why I like making them. Because you haven't got reams and reams and things. And most of you have sugar, eggs and coconut in your cupboard.
I wouldn't have coconut, not desiccated
coconut. I don't have coconut in my cupboard, I must say.
I don't mind creamed coconut in a curry.
No, that's... Yeah,
but that's pretty much as far as I can cope with coconut.
Well, this recipe literally just has 3 ingredients. Now, my next recipe, which is the one I make now...
This is 2 recipes for creamed...
It is for the coconut pyramids. Yeah, it's the traditional one. Right. This is how I used to make them, but now I make them slightly different. Well, quite differently. And it's even easier because there's only 2.
2 ingredients?
2 ingredients.
2 ingredients?
Yep, just 2 ingredients. Plus whatever you want to decorate.
Plus a load more.
No. I always top mine with a half a glace cherry.
We're having fun with our words today, aren't we?
I don't know what's up with those, right. Must be the thought of a coconut pyramid, my mouth's watering. Now, for the traditional recipe, you'll need a nice big baking sheet. Now, they don't spread out very much, so you can put them reasonably close together, about a centimetre away, half a centimetre away. They do a little bit.
It's not like a biscuit. It's
down,
just,
but there's no flour to make them rise in this. And then you need to grease it and line it with a piece of baking paper so it doesn't stick, and preheat your oven to 170 degrees at the same time. So
that's 325-ish, a bit more than that. But gas mark 3 and a bit.
Yeah, well, it's gas mark 3 you'll need it on.
Yeah.
Now you need 1 egg white.
Okay.
And you need to separate your egg.
That's no yolk.
Yeah, use your yolk for making scrambled eggs or
whatever,
custard or whatever. And you need 100 grams of golden castor sugar and about 130 grams of desiccated coconut. Now, glacé cherries if you wish. We'll talk about that later on.
You need 2 packets of glacé cherries, 1 for Diana and 1 to go the coconuts.
So whisk your egg white till it's nice and firm, as though you're making meringue.
Yeah.
And then you add into your golden castor sugar a little bit of... Well, I usually do it in 3 lots and then whisk it. Then... you need to fold in your desiccated coconut. Now, if your mixture is still a bit too wet, add a little bit more coconut. Depends how big your egg white is. If it is, if it's looking a bit dry, which it can do a little bit, then just add a little bit of milk, a tiny splodge of milk, nothing much, or a little bit of cream if you've got some single cream, just to give it a bit of moisture. But that's quite a good combination of ingredients. 1 egg white to 100 grams of sugar and 130 grams of desiccated coconut. Now what you need to do, once you've got your mixture all together, you need to form your mixture into the pyramids. Now, some people like using those little, I I think they're not Madeleines, tallish tower
Yeah.
moulds. Or you can, but I think they're a bit too big, those. So I tend to use my hands, and I usually make a ball.
And then squash
and
it
then
down a bit.
Squeeze it up a bit.
Right.
So it goes into a pointed bit at the top. Because they're called pyramids.
Yeah.
But you don't have to do that. You can make them into macaroons if you want. Make them into balls and squash them a bit.
Or you could sort of make them into cones.
Yeah.
Quite easily.
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Whatever shape you want to do. But if it makes about 10 to 12 this, so you need, you can do basically whatever shape you want, then pop half a glacé cherry on the top.
On the top.
Then you need to bake those for about 15 to 20 minutes. Check them, though, just before 15 minutes to check that they're not getting too dark brown. You want them golden.
Do you bake them with the cherry on it? Or,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why, because what happens, it sinks into the mixture and sticks to it.
Okay.
If you don't do that, you've got like a crispy crust on the edge of your pyramid.
You spend all day balancing a cherry on the top.
Yeah, it won't work. Yeah. But what you can do is, if you wish to sort of, change it a little bit, is put a tiny bit of jam, when you've made your filling, your ball, poke a hole in it, put a tiny little bit of jam and then fill it up round there. Yeah. So you'll get sort of a strawberry jam or a raspberry jam in a bit in the middle. Or you can chop some glacé cherries up and fold those in as well. You could do chocolate chip ones as well with chocolate chips. Now, when they're done, you will know that they're nice and golden on the outside, so they'll get that crust that forms that makes them crispy on the outside and soft and chewy on the inside. But don't let it get to, like I said before, don't get it. It doesn't want to be dark brown because they'll be burning, and then they go a little bit sort of bitter taste because of the sugar's burnt. So make sure they're just golden in colour, and they'll still keep their shape. Now then, for the easy one. Well, that's not difficult, is it?
No, not really.
Now, for this recipe, this makes about 15 or 18. This makes
pyramids,
a little bit more pyramids. But again, they don't spread out, so they should fit on one tray, but have another one ready just in case. You'll need 220 grams of desiccated coconut for this recipe and 180 grams of condensed milk. Again, it's about right, that quantity, but if it's a little bit too sticky, add a little bit more coconut. It won't alter the flavour. Now, some people put vanilla extract in these, but I don't. I like the creamy, natural taste of them. But if you want to add a bit of vanilla, add a bit of vanilla. You can even get coconut extract now.
Oh, right.
To add to the coconut flavour.
So it tastes even more coconut.
Coconut, which you wouldn't like, would you?
Not at all.
Now, again, you just literally put them both in the bowl together and beat it quite well. So they're all the condensed milk and the coconut combines together. And again, form it into little balls. Put it on your baking sheet that's been lined again. Or two. You might need two because you'll get a few more out of this.
Yeah.
Then bake it again for 15 to 20 minutes.
Same temperatures?
Same temperature and everything. If you wish, you can always add half a cherry. But, you can do whatever you want to do with the, like I explained before. And again, these need to be just golden in colour. Now, the other thing you can do with them, once they're cooked, either of the recipes, is melt some dark chocolate or a combination of dark and milk, or just milk, or even white chocolate if you wish. And then when your pyramids are cold, melt your chocolate, probably about 80 grams of chocolate. Dip your pyramid in there and then put your cherry on the top.
Ooh.
Or dip it into your chocolate and just leave it. Or dip it into your dark chocolate.
We're really going to town
now,
aren't we?
Let it set and melt some white chocolate.
Or you can
dip
make
it
a
into...
sort of,
Now, I'm saying all this because coming up to Christmas time, these keep for ages in an airtight tin. So they make good presents for somebody who loves coconut.
Or even a nicely decorated table.
Yeah, they really look sweet. And the other thing you can do is you can add chocolate buttons to the top or just whatever you fancy. But they look nice, or even some bit of holly that you can't eat. Or make yourself some marzipan holly.
Yeah.
Roll out your marzipan and colour it with green and red and make your... Oh, what a faff. Just add a glass of cherry.
You could put those the silvery things.
Oh, the balls, the edible. That's a good idea. But you can go to town. And the thing is, when you eat them, they taste as good 5 days after.
Right.
So long as they're in an airtight tin as they did the first day you made them. There's just something very special about coconut pyramids, especially the condensed milk ones, because there's no egg in these, you see. But they do keep for a long, long time.
Thank you for listening to the Recipe for the Day podcast. We hope to see you sometime at www.kitchennewbie.com. Kitchen Newbie is a kind of online cookery school which hopes to help people new to cooking, and you will find lots of easy recipes and techniques. So, why not pop down and have a look? We're new, there's lots to do, but we'd love to see you just the same.